As some of you may or may not know, I took a ceramics class for 10 months, starting in September of 2023 and ending in June of 2024. This was something optional for me, and I wanted to experiment with a new medium. Over on my Instagram, I hosted a small event called Ceramics Fest where I showed off all of my ceramic pieces that I had made. And it's only fair to do the same thing on YouTube, just in video form. In total, there are 9 different pieces that I will go over. I will describe what I made these with, the process, the idea, etc. And these do not go in chronological order. And with that, let's get started. The first piece that I am showing you is the dropped bust. The dropped bust was made from clay, painted with watercolor, and finished with Mod Podge. I started the project by looking at many reference photos of humans and decided that I would choose an African woman as my focus. Before putting the bust in the kiln, I dropped it, and the impact is at the back of the head. This piece symbolizes resilience in African history, hence why I chose an African woman to be my focus. The damage done from dropping the piece resembles the past and how segregation, slavery, British imperialism, and other events brought Africans and African American people down. The front of the piece remains stable, and the woman has a calm facial expression, symbolizing the repair and peace that came after enduring these historical struggles and learning to overcome them and fight back. Along with damage at the back of the head, there are obvious impurities throughout the neck. And this was also the first human figure that I had made out of ceramics. This piece is the Flower Fantasy glass. It was made with clay, painted with watercolor, and sealed with Mod Podge. For this project, I observed 3 historical ceramic pieces and combined them into one, resulting in the final product. My heaviest inspiration was the Wildflower ceramic pottery cabinet vase from Ephraim Pottery. I used a technique of painting the piece and then washing out that pigment with water. This technique added both texture and impurities to the pigments of the color, symbolizing the beauty and imperfection of nature. Next we have the Terramundi pot, made with clay, red slip, and sealed with glaze. There is a mountain scenery, striped pattern, and a diamond-shaped pattern with dots. These details were made with the red slip. I did not use a wheel. This was fully handmade. It includes a foot at the bottom and a decorative handle at the top. It is completely hollow on the inside and is usable, and I have been using it for my spare change. I actually have 80 cents in it right now. My main inspiration for the visual element of this project is Native American pottery and traditional Egyptian pottery. The next piece I am showing is a plate of food made with clay, painted with watercolor, and sealed with Mod Podge. The plate includes a fry bread taco, salmon with lemon on top, and carrots and broccoli. For this project, our instructor put a huge emphasis on realism, hence why I used watercolor instead of acrylic or glaze, because you can't layer those kinds of paints as much as you can with watercolor. Layering different shades of the same color created shadows and highlights within the different pieces of food, making it look way more realistic. And I was also able to create texture with that watercolor paint. The next piece I am showing you is a set of 3 nesting bowls. These nesting bowls can sit in one another, and they are sunflower themed. With these nesting bowls, I experimented with texture, and I finally used glaze. I say just glaze because usually glaze comes in different colors, as you can see, with the yellow, orange, and different shades of blue. But yes, there is also a clear glaze, which is what I used for the Terramundi pot. And you cannot use glaze with watercolor, which is why I use Mod Podge for all my watercolor pieces. Next up, we have miniature chia pets. These were made for terracotta clay so that they would be plant friendly, and I chose a tiger and a turtle because those are my favorite animals, we had to put something along the bottom that could hold water for the chia seeds. So for the turtle, I put a nest, and for the tiger, I put a little rug. Next up, we have the air dry clay rose. This was made with air dry clay and painted with watercolor and sealed with Mod Podge for extra security. This was just one of those projects that was more of a leisure type thing, and it went by pretty quick. As I was making this, I noticed some major differences between regular kiln clay and air dry clay, and if I had to choose which one I would want to work with, I recommend the traditional kiln clay. Last but not least, we have the Negative Space Shamrock Bowl. This was the first ceramic piece that I made, and it was made using regular clay and glaze. Of course, the execution isn't great, but the thought counts. I chose shamrocks to show parts of my heritage. Parts of my family are Irish, and we take St. Patrick's Day very seriously. And that is all. If you want to see more of my art, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also follow my Instagram at Bailey Marie Artistry. I create both digital and traditional art. I do canvas paintings, and I also have my own characters that I have made. Supporting a small artist will always guaranteed give you good luck. And if art isn't your thing, I also have 2 accounts dedicated to my passion of cooking. You can find me Culinary with Marie on Instagram and Chef Bailey Marie on YouTube. Fine arts, cooking, and crafting. It's what I do.